Hi, it's Austin Eaton with Coldwell Banker. I'm here with Brad Johnson from Oasis Senior Advisors. He has a tremendous service that's so good for seniors who are uncertain as to what their next move is after they look to sell their home. Brad?
Yeah, thanks, Austin. I own Oasis Senior Advisors, Southern Twin Cities, and my service is I work with seniors and their families typically, where as much as they want to live in their homes due to a variety of reasons, might be change in health, maybe there's some dementia, maybe it's death of a spouse, or they're just tired of shoveling walks and mowing lawns, but they realize it's time to make a change. And that can be a very overwhelming set of choices. It can be a very challenging transition to make, and that's what I do. I help seniors and their families figure out what the right next step is and navigate their way through it.
And what got you into the business?
Well, in my career, I was in corporate. I worked at United Health Group, but I experienced this firsthand with my parents. So my mother had dementia for 15 years. She passed away a couple years ago. And my dad, he's still going at 95. But I helped them through a series of transitions, and it was at a crucial one where we actually had made the wrong choice. And I got some help from a family friend who does this kind of work, and realized we needed to move my mom. And so we did, and that ended up being the place where she lived out the rest of her life. But I realized how hard this is, what a big deal it is for seniors and their families to make this transition, and that some help at the right time can be very beneficial. And so I felt, when I was ready to make a change, I felt called to this kind of work and found Oasis, and here we are.
Now, you mentioned families. That seems to be a very important part of this. You work with the children, the grown children of these seniors as well?
Yeah, a lot of times that's who's making the phone call, because maybe they're worried about their parents, or it's the individuals themselves. It's really, every family's a little bit different.
Okay.
Or in some cases, the seniors don't have children, so they're really in this on their own, and this really feels overwhelming. Or maybe their kids live out of state, and so then I work more directly with them. But it really takes any form, and every family's different, but it can be a challenging transition, but it's one where there's always a solution, and it's just it's fun to help families navigate their way through it.
Okay, and how much does a service like this cost?
So this is totally free to the client, and that's made possible by, if the client ends up moving into a senior housing community that pays a referral fee, then I get compensated. Most communities do that, some don't, but what I promise everybody is that I'm going to consider the whole universe of possibilities. What I recommend in terms of the final set of best fit candidates will be a mix of the two types. Clients don't know which is which because it's not their issue.
Right.
The most important thing for them is to make the right choice.
Mm-hmm. And how do you simplify this process for people?
Right, so there's literally, in the southern part of the Twin Cities, there's over 60 assisted living, memory care, independent living type senior housing.
Wow.
So it's dozens and dozens of options, that's why it's overwhelming. But I take clients through a kind of a 5-question consult, which is, what's your timing? What geography do you want to focus on? What are your health issues now and in the future? What kind of lifestyle do you want? And then most importantly, financial resources, because that really separates, some places are right and some places aren't right, depending on that last one. But when I learn the answers to those 5 things, typically what starts out as dozens comes down to about a handful of likely best fit, and that's what we focus on. So it helps streamline the process.
Okay.
And then I'll make the appointments, go along on the tour, and basically be an advisor to help that client sort of through that whole pathway and until they make a decision on what they want to do.
Great. I know that Brad has helped a number of my clients, and they've been tremendously happy with how the process has gone and end up in a place that really fits them well. If you have any need, or any of your family members have a need to start looking at where the next move goes, I would love to hook you up with Brad Johnson with Oasis Senior Advisors. Thanks so much for coming today, Brad.
Thanks for having me, and I look forward to meeting your clients and being a resource.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
you.